On almost every single sales call, there's a moment in time where the prospect is about to say yes and you accidentally walk them out of the sale. In this video, I'm going to break down the micro commitment ladder that you need to implement so that it becomes their idea to buy, not yours. No awkwardness, no weird pushing, just a simple way for them to go from questions to raised hands saying, yes, let's work together. My name is Sami Meibar, and over the past 4 years, I've helped build sales teams that have generated well over $40 million in revenue. I've worked with people like Tony Robbins, Graziosi, Maxwell Finn, Ashton Hall, and I've been able to generate some really cool numbers for some really cool people. In the very beginning of my career, one person gave me one phrase that stuck with me forever. If you're broke, sell your way out. And so I took it upon me to learn sales to the best of my ability. Now, weirdly enough, there's a lot of weird sales advice out there. So I was like, how can I do this ethically and enjoy it so that the person who's buying from me actually enjoys purchasing and they don't have buyer's remorse and they don't ask for a refund afterwards because they're excited. Today, I'm going to break it down into 3 different parts so we can go from maybes to 100% yes. Now, what inspired me to do this video was we had a salesperson who, as soon as we reviewed their call, they had said, hey, look, it's $4,500, but we offer payment plans. You can break it down into 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 8 months. And I was like, hang on. First of all, it's a 3-month program. Why are we extending this payment plan before even letting the person process? Secondly, it shows that we have weakness on our side. If we don't feel certain about what we're selling, of course we're going to offer payment plans. Of course we're going to fold. And thirdly, we need to let them process the information they just heard. The last words we said was 4,500. Let them process that before you confuse them with all these different types of payment plans. If the first words out of your mouth are, hey, we have payment plans, then it shows them that this is negotiable. This isn't that urgent. Get the yes first. Then you can focus on the terms. Top sales reps don't lead with payment plans. They lock in with, is this exactly what you're looking for? They say, yes, cool, here's the price, and they wait and give the person breathing room so that they can process it. Then they solve, how do we make this work if need be? If you're negotiating against yourself, then you're training prospects to shop you. Secure the payment and then use payment plans as an after the fact, not before the fact. Before you even get to the price, you're going to get to the point where you're speaking to them and seeing if this is vibing with them. Is this actually landing? And the way you do that is while you're pitching them, you pause and say, how does this sound? And they say, great. Or they say, and you can gauge exactly how committed they are to work with you. I always like to do a double, even triple tie down. Does this sound like it's going to help you out? Awesome. How do you feel about this so far? Great. Ready to move on to the last one? That's the best way to get people to continuously pay attention during the pitch rather than just tuning out. So that was the third one. Let's go backwards and go to the second one. Before you mention the price, you're going to have to pitch them. And during the pitch, something really important happens. You want to ask permission for the pitch. And the best way of doing this is, look, I definitely know we can help you out. Happy to walk you through what that looks like if it's something that you're open to. And the reason why I like to do this permission sales is because they're like, yes, please tell me how you can help me. They're asking to be pitched. Now, during the pitch, you don't just go on a 20-minute rant because that would be crazy and you wouldn't even be able to tell how they're feeling and you can see them tune out. What you want to do is keep it engaging. And the way you do that is you keep it with little micro yes ladders. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're pitching something, you want to break it up into sequences. So you say your first thing and then you say, do you see how this is going to help you? And they say, yes. Awesome. How do you feel about this so far? Oh, I feel great. Cool. Ready to move on to the second piece? You want to do a double, even triple tie down to make sure that they're paying attention, but also so you can gauge if they're enjoying it, because if they're not and you can feel something's up, you're going to want to pause there and work on that. Now, what's great about all this is you're also removing objections. If you do this correctly, you're completely getting rid of, oh, you know, this, that, and all these other objections that they may have. So when you're having these little micro yeses, they're telling you how committed they are. Cool. That was the second one. Now let's work backward to the first one. And the way to do this, like the way to truly be able to get to the prospect to just say yes, is by digging deep. Digging deep means you need to get them to open up about it. Whether it's a B2B sale or a B2C sale, you need to be able to understand what the issue is. And a lot of times you can simply say, hey, what's currently not working for you? Or what's the current struggles that you're facing with? Or what's not working to the efficiency that you're hoping for it to do? The final one that's really important that a lot of people miss is you need to be able to dig. And what do I mean by this? Whatever problem you're dealing with, whatever the problem the prospect is struggling with, you need to be able to elaborate more on. And some of my favorite questions are asking questions where you say, hey, what's currently not working with you? Or if it's a B2B question, what do you feel like you're missing out on in terms of efficiency for the company? You want to be able to ask like a surface level question, they give you an answer, and then you reply with the simple words, how so? Or tell me more about that. How long has that been an issue for? Could you give me an example of what that looks like? When you say this, what does that even mean? Could you help me understand that? You want to be able to dig. And when I say micro yes ladders, we talked about the micro yes ladder earlier, where we're saying, hey, we want them to say yes, 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 but we also want to do it backwards. We want to be able to dig, a micro digging session. So we can dig deeper, dig deeper, dig deeper to the point where we can say, hey, if this doesn't get solved, how does this affect another area of your life? What happens if we don't change this? How long has this been an issue for? When You mentioned that this has been an issue for 5 years. What happens if the next 5 years looks like the last 5 years? Interesting. We can do that. We let the prospect find out for themselves why this is a problem. Now, a lot of people wonder, hey, why are we asking these questions if I already know what they're struggling with? I'm an expert. Great. You're the expert, but they don't know that you're the expert. And even if they may think that, they don't care that you're the expert for someone else. They want you to be the expert for them. And the way to do that is by letting them be heard. People don't buy because they like what they hear. They buy because they feel heard. And if you're able to get them to talk out loud and express the problems, the issues that they're facing, that they're struggling with, not only are they admitting it to you, they're also admitting it to themselves. So there you have it. That's how you're going to go ahead and start getting micro commitments from people so they can go from like, I need to think about it to like a hell yes. Stop talking yourself out of sales. Make sure that you're giving them one option, and then after the fact, we can worry about the payment plans later. Second of all, you want to be able to have this engaging pitch. It's not just you shouting at them, hoping that they're going to buy from you. It's you giving them, hey, how does this sound? Feeling good about this so far? What about this do you feel like is going to be the most beneficial for you? Making sure that it's an engaging conversation. And then lastly, and obviously I'm going backwards, being able to dig, getting to the true point as to why they're struggling with this issue, what's going to happen if they don't fix this, what are the goals, and how we can bridge the gap from pain point to goals. If you like this video so far, please go ahead and do me a favor. Click down below, give us a thumbs up, like it, leave a comment, let me know what you thought about the video, and also hit that little subscribe notification bell button, and you can keep watching these awesome videos about sales. See you in the next video.